What if simplifying every aspect of your life could help you shed the burden of anxiety, like a cold glass of water quenching your thirst on a hot summer afternoon? Take a moment to reflect on this. What if, instead of getting caught up in countless tasks, you focused solely on one thing with complete dedication, without distractions? Could you achieve the level of productivity you once only dreamed of in your journey? We are all living in a busy, overwhelming cycle filled with worries and a sense of being out of control. That's why in this video, we've carefully selected the most valuable lessons and quotes to help you learn how to live fully without being held back by unnecessary worries. After all, needless anxiety not only drains happiness, but also impacts your emotional stability. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please support me by subscribing and liking the video, so I can continue bringing more meaningful content in the future. But before we begin, as usual, I have a small challenge for you. Stick around until the end of the video and don't miss any part of it, because one of them could be the key that changes your life forever. 1. Living simply to free the mind. Seneca once said, "Wealth is not having many possessions, but having few needs." In life, we often drown ourselves in unnecessary worries. Excess material possessions, trivial concerns, and goals that aren't truly important, all these become burdens that bind the mind. Stoic philosophy encourages people to simplify their thoughts and actions, focusing only on what is essential. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are about to say or do something, ask yourself, is this necessary? When we remove what is unimportant, the mind becomes lighter, allowing us to focus on the core values of life. A cluttered room reflects a cluttered mind. A packed schedule without focus only creates stress. Simplify material possessions, relationships, and thoughts to free the mind so we can dedicate energy to what truly matters. As Epictetus taught, freedom is not in having everything, but in being unbound by anything. 2. The practice of letting go. Epictetus once said, "If you want to move forward, be willing to let go of some things." We are often bound by things that no longer hold value, from excess material possessions to toxic relationships, from unrealistic expectations to guilt about the past. These things only weigh down the mind, pulling us away from inner peace. Stoicism advises us to focus on what is within our control and let go of the rest. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "Do not let your mind be occupied by things you cannot change." Clinging to the past only brings suffering. Learning to forgive ourselves, accepting what has happened, and looking ahead is the only way to free the soul. Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility or being indifferent to life. It is a conscious choice. Reducing unnecessary commitments, avoiding wasting time on meaningless things, and learning to live with what truly matters. As Seneca wrote, we suffer not because of reality, but because of how we view it. 3. Nurturing inner peace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Retreat into yourself, you will find peace there." In life, we often get caught up in external changes, trying to find peace in material things, fame, or recognition. But all these things are not lasting. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true peace does not come from the outside world, but from how we control our thoughts and emotions. One way to achieve this is through the practice of meditation. Seneca advised that every day we should take time to reflect on our actions, recognize our mistakes, and learn from them. This helps the mind become clearer and less disturbed by trivial matters. In addition, gratitude is also an important factor. Epictetus said, "Do not demand what you do not have, but cherish what you have." When we appreciate the present, we no longer crave transient things and can fully enjoy life. Peace is not a state we seek externally, but a skill that must be cultivated from within. 4. Eliminating distractions. Epictetus once said, "It is not the events that disturb us, but our judgment of them." In the modern world, we are surrounded by countless distractions. Social media, phone notifications, and sensational news. These things keep our minds busy, but not truly productive. To regain focus, we must proactively reduce these disruptive elements. One of the simplest steps is limiting the time spent on social media. Seneca warned against wasting time on trivial matters, and today, mindlessly scrolling through our phones is a prime example of this. Instead of spending hours on screens, we can invest our time in reading, exercising, or learning a new skill. Additionally, Turning off phone notifications helps us better control our attention. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that we must master our thoughts rather than letting external circumstances dictate them. By reducing distractions, our minds become clearer, allowing us to focus on what truly matters in life. 5. Prioritize what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have very little time to waste on things that don't bring you closer to your goals." Life is always filled with demands, tasks, and distractions. Without knowing how to prioritize, we can easily get caught up in meaningless activities and miss out on what truly matters. The first step to living with purpose is identifying your core values. What is truly important to you? Family, intellectual growth, compassion, or inner peace? Once you clearly understand these values, every decision in life becomes clearer. Seneca reminded us, if a man does not know to which port he is sailing, no wind is favorable. We need to continually reassess our goals, eliminate meaningless ambitions, and focus on things that truly bring value. To live in alignment with our values, we must dedicate time to personal growth, learning, training, reflecting, and practicing what nourishes the soul. When we prioritize correctly, life becomes less chaotic and more meaningful. 6. Set boundaries and learn to say no. Epictetus once said, "He who knows his limits is the freest of all." In life, if we don't set boundaries, we can easily get caught up in responsibilities, relationships, and tasks that drain our energy without offering any real benefit. This not only leaves us exhausted, but also takes us further away from our truly important goals. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being selfish. It means knowing how to protect yourself. Learning to say no respectfully is a crucial skill for maintaining mental health. Seneca warned, "We do not have too much time, but we waste a great deal." If we spend our time on unnecessary things, the time for ourselves and what truly matters will continue to shrink. Once we learn to say no at the right time, we will have more energy to focus on what really matters. Remember, not every invitation, request, or opportunity deserves your attention. Knowing your limits and having the courage to decline is an essential step toward living a free and meaningful life. 7. Eliminate negative relationships and situations. Marcus Aurelius once advised, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, be careful about what you allow into your mind." Similarly, the relationships and situations around us have a significant impact on our mental state. If we are constantly exposed to negativity, dissatisfaction, and toxicity, our minds will be drawn into it. Not everyone deserves your time and energy. Some people only bring complaints, envy, or manipulation. Epictetus taught, "Do not live as the majority does if the majority does not live rightly." If a relationship drains you rather than helps you grow, it's time to consider keeping your distance. However, this does not mean avoiding all conflicts. Instead of silently enduring, address issues constructively, directly, but calmly. Remember, just as the body needs a healthy environment to grow, the mind also requires positive relationships to nurture peace and happiness. 8. Effective time management. Seneca once said, "We do not have a shortage of time, but we waste a great deal of it." The busy pace of life often makes people feel like they don't have enough time for what truly matters. However, the issue is not that time is too scarce, but rather how we choose to use it. To manage time effectively, first, have a clear plan. Identify the most important tasks and focus on completing them first. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Do what is necessary, not what is convenient." Don't let yourself get caught up in small, meaningless tasks just because they are easier. Additionally, avoid wasting time on useless habits like aimlessly scrolling through social media or procrastinating on important work. Epictetus advises, "Do not let others decide how you use your time." Take the initiative to reassess your priorities, allocate time for personal development, meaningful relationships, and truly important goals. Only then can you live a fulfilling and meaningful life. 9. Simplifying your living environment. A simple environment helps ease the mind, reduce stress, and enhance the quality of life. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without." Too much material wealth not only takes up space in our homes, but also occupies space in our minds. Living a minimalist lifestyle does not mean eliminating everything, but rather keeping only what is truly valuable. Rearrange your living space, remove unnecessary items, and create a harmonious, comfortable environment. When the space is tidy, our minds become lighter and are better able to focus on what matters. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." A simple, clean space helps us think more clearly, relax more, and be less distracted by unnecessary things. When our living environment is optimized, we can focus more on our goals, work, and fully enjoy life. 10. Reducing dependence on technology. In the modern world, technology brings many conveniences but can also become an invisible chain, trapping us in constant distractions. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When we become immersed in screens, we are easily swept up in meaningless worries and comparisons on social media, instead of enjoying what truly matters in life. Limiting technology use helps us reconnect with reality. Put your phone down, spend time having face-to-face conversations with loved ones, read a good book, or simply observe the world around you. Epictetus advised, "Only when we control ourselves are we truly free." If we allow technology to control our daily habits, we lose the ability to master our own lives. Instead of letting the screen dictate our mood, learn to enjoy real moments. Take a walk without headphones, eat without interruptions from notifications, and learn to appreciate the simple things around you. It is these moments that create a meaningful life. 11. Accepting imperfection. Epictetus once said, "If you want to progress, be willing to be seen as foolish and unsuitable." Society often praises perfection, putting pressure on us to become a flawless version of ourselves. But the truth is, no one is perfect, and chasing perfection only leads to disappointment and exhaustion. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Love your life, even if it's not perfect. Instead of fearing mistakes, learn from them. Failure is not the end, but a lesson that helps us grow." When we stop forcing ourselves to meet unrealistic standards, our minds become lighter and we will dare to act without fear holding us back. Cherish yourself with all your flaws and differences. Seneca once said, "There is no genius without a touch of madness." It is these imperfections that make us unique. When we learn to accept and love ourselves, we are no longer hurt by the judgment of others, but instead live more freely and fully. 12. Nurturing habits that balance life. Epictetus once said, "It is not the circumstances that shape us, but how we respond to those circumstances." How a day begins and ends can affect the entire course of our lives. Morning habits help prepare our minds, while evening habits help us release stress. In the morning, start with simple but meaningful actions. Wake up early, meditate for a few minutes, write down something you're grateful for, or read an uplifting philosophy. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, "Today, I will encounter selfish, ungrateful, arrogant people, but I will not let them affect me." A positive thought at the start of the day can help us stay strong in the face of challenges. In addition, physical exercise is an important part. Seneca believed, "A healthy body creates a strong mind." A bit of daily movement helps reduce stress and maintain mental clarity. In the evening, spend time in silence, read a book, or write in a journal to reflect on the day. By maintaining these habits, we can avoid getting caught up in the chaos of life while keeping our inner balance intact. 13. Cherish the small moments. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Pay attention to the small things, for one day you will realize they are the most important." In the hustle and bustle of life, we often forget the beauty of simple moments. A peaceful morning, sunlight filtering through the leaves, or the smile of a loved one. These small things, if we pay attention, can bring profound joy and peace. Practicing gratitude is the key to fully enjoying life. Epictetus reminded us, "Do not wish for what you do not have, but be grateful for what you have." When we pause to reflect on the simple yet meaningful things, a delicious meal, the sound of birds singing in the morning, or a heartfelt conversation, we realize that happiness is not a distant destination, but lies in the present moment. Take time to observe and feel. When you go for a walk, truly listen to the wind blowing and feel each step. When drinking tea, savor the flavor slowly. Seneca once said, "Life is long enough if we know how to enjoy it," and that begins with cherishing each small moment. 14. Redefine success and happiness. In modern society, success is often measured by wealth, fame, and status. But is that the right measure? Seneca once said, "A rich person is not one who has much, but one who needs little." If we keep chasing external standards, we will never feel enough. True success does not lie in what we possess, but in inner peace and the ability to live in accordance with our values. Epictetus advises, "Do not let your happiness depend on things outside your control." If we place our happiness in material things or the approval of others, we will always feel insecure. Instead, happiness should come from self-contentment, living a meaningful life, maintaining virtue, and nurturing wisdom. Redefine success in your own way, not by achieving more, but by feeling content with what truly matters. When we live authentically, do meaningful things, and are not bound by societal expectations, we truly attain lasting happiness. If you find Stoic philosophy helpful and want to apply it in your life to seek peace, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any valuable content. Don't forget to leave a comment about the lesson that resonates with you the most. It could be the mindset of letting go, living simply, or redefining success. Share your thoughts so we can discuss and grow together.